Vietnam, and it didn't really address the issues of black liberation or the issues of Native Americans trying to fight for land and so forth, which were those issues. So some of us felt that that if we adopted violence, that was going to make a difference, and that other people would follow in that course of action. That if they saw some people out there doing this, they would also follow. Now that didn't happen. I mean, people didn't follow. Other people didn't see that as the way forward. So once I was on the run, I mean, I had a lot of time to read and study and sit and think and look at the history of other movements and see that there was a way to organize that wasn't necessarily focused completely on violence, and I began to at least see the power of education, which I saw when I was in Zimbabwe, and then I saw when I was in South Africa, the power of education, but also the power of building movements that involve masses of people, rather than just having a few people out there doing things. So but my exposure, particularly to the movements in Southern Africa, the trade union movement in South Africa, which was, that was a movement that could carry out a general strike that could shut down, like the city of Johannesburg, a city of 3 million people, with ordinary workers out there who were educated but not school educated. But if you talk to them, even though they're talking in probably their third or fourth language, they could still, you'd still think that these were like graduate students or experts or something, because the organization had a culture of study and learning, and that's how people learn. So I saw the power of that, and building organization, building community, and that's kind of what we try to do in First Followers, but it requires patience and time. You can't bring down mass incarceration overnight.
No, not at all.
So you have to build the power of the people that are directly affected by it to shape the change.
Right, yes. I don't have all of my all of my questions in front of me. You got some questions?
So do you see throughout change, do you see things getting better? Do you see the situation advancing or getting worse?
Right now, I think we have two things going on. One thing, is we got our boy 45, right? So we got to deal with all the stuff that he brings, right?
What'd you say? Our boy 45 now.
he's bringing, he's opening the door to all these white supremacists and all these, really horrible anti-human, anti-progress ideas,
right.
And so we have to deal with that. I mean, it's spreading and getting more power. At the same time, I think there is resistance to that. There are people trying to organize against that. And maybe in ways that weren't happening before. That people are beginning to see, hey, this is serious now. You got Obama in there. You think, he's not everything we want him to be, but he'll take care of it. It's okay. We don't have to really worry so much about it. But now, that's not the case anymore. We can't say, oh, he's going to take care of it. He's not going to take care of it. He's going to make it worse for everybody. For all of us anyway, so we have to find ways to organize against him. So I think it's terrible, a lot of the stuff that he's doing, obviously.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But at the same time, he's sparking people to say, we can't go on like this.
Right.
I mean, even at there's all his white supremacist views, but then even just at the level of at these fires in California. And
he
people
blamed the park management.
Yeah, he blamed the park management. He can't even back off for long enough to just say, I really feel sorry for this tragedy. People are getting burned out of their houses. We've got over 1,000 people missing. He doesn't have even a drop of mercy in his heart.
Well, that's a narcissist. That's his narcissist behavior. Yeah. So when you put a narcissist in office, then you got, you got to deal with it.
Yeah.
You got to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's like no offenses with two or less evils. You either gonna get him or Hillary. So you chose the worst of the evil. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so he's a narcissist. So we know that's expected of him. So expected of him, the things he says not unexpected.
And like you said, I agree with you. By him being in that seat, it's opening up a lot of people's eyes to what's been going on and what's gonna continue to go on if we don't do something about it. You know, we have all of these opportunities. We need to do something about, you know, mass incarceration, funds not being sent to the right place, like education. You know, that stuff is getting cut every single day. You know, even with like, you know, the public assistance or daycare, certain things like that that seem so small to certain people, but it's a big deal because some people can't pay for, you know, these assistant. I mean, some people can't pay for like rent or daycare and stuff like that. And if those basically get cut, then what's gonna happen?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's right.
He's cutting all these programs in order to get the bigger money, chop, change, whatever for the bigger corporation, but it's hurting all of us that are at the low or the bottom of the pit, you know? Mm-hmm. So I have a question. What is your role in the community, other than what I just said? And what are you doing within the community? Just give me a couple of specifics. Like I said, I only briefly introduced, you know, what you do and what you're involved with, but just we want the community to know who you are and what you do.
Okay, well, when I came out of prison in 2009, I landed here in the middle of the cornfields. I'd never been here before. I'm thinking like, whoa, what's this place? You know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to connect with people here. I've been 18 years in Southern Africa. Then I've been in prison. And I'm looking around and seeing all these farmers. I went to one of the U of I basketball games, and I'm going, whoa, all these farm boys here. This place is scary, you know. So, but gradually, I guess I owe part of my change here to the sheriff, to Sheriff Walsh, because Sheriff Walsh came along in 2012, actually late 2011, with a plan to build a jail. And after spending that time in prison and, you know, developing an understanding of mass incarceration, I could say to myself, I'm not coming here to have you build a jail where I land, you know. So I started then, you know, trying to pull together with people to fight against that, you know, to fight against that jail. Right. And the person that was fighting the most against that jail was Carol Ammons, who was then on the county board, right? So we formed an organization which first we called No More Jails, and then it became Build Programs Not Jails. And we sort of kept every time, I mean, we kept fighting against the jail proposal. They came with one proposal, we'd beat it back, and then they'd come and they'd say, we don't want to really build a jail, we want to build a mental health facility inside the jail so the inmates will so it'll be better for them. And we're saying, no, put that mental health facility in the community so people get there before they get to jail, not after they get to jail. Right. So they kept coming back with these different plans. Each one cost more money, and we kept pushing back against it. And so out of that, at one point we had something called the Community Justice Task Force, which was supposed to come up with alternatives to incarceration. And one of the alternatives that we came up with was the idea of a reentry program. Right, okay. And so when that came, and Aaron Ammons was also big into doing that as well, because he had a background at that time. So myself and Marlon Mitchell, who had been trying in the community to get something like that going, we kind of came together and we started going around and trying to meet with churches and getting somebody to kind of host like a drop-in center or something so we could get that program going. Yeah. So we finally got the okay from Bethel AME Church in 2015 to open up that drop-in center, and you know, we sat there by ourselves for a long time, and hardly anybody come in. Kiki came in, Charles came in, but you know, we didn't have a lot of people, but we were just sitting there checking out what was going on. And since that time, you know, we've now been able to build first followers. Oh yeah. We've had people like Tiger and Heather come on board, and other folks. So we got a big circle of folks, and you know, we're a force, right?
Yeah. Oh, most definitely, most definitely. Even with your program, which is growing, all right, give me at least one goal for your program, first followers, meaning, and then any like future, you know, things that you want to do inside the community. Just one thing, nothing too big.
You know the goal already.
I'm not going to give you one. I'll give you three. One, we want a transition house, which I think we're going to get. You know, a house where people can land when they come home from prison, because there is no place in this town for that.
It's not.
Secondly, we want to leverage and have jobs for people that, you know, that are coming out or that go through our courses, because we can do a lot of training of people, but we've had a difficult time finding jobs. And then thirdly, and ultimately, we want a community center. You know, we want to, you know, where we have first followers, but we got other programs, so it's like a one-stop shop.
Yes.
Know? We need a building for that.
Yes.
Know? And we need a place, and so we'll keep the pressure on about it, but we're getting there. I think we're going to get a house early next year, and the community center will follow.
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead. So even with the one-stop shop, you know, we want to make sure that the community understands that this particular program has been around town, and a lot of people still ask me, what is First Followers? What is it? Where is it at? You know, a lot of people just don't know where it is. It's at Bethel AME Church. They have a drop-in. The drop-in hours are Tuesday and Thursday from
1 to 5.
1 to 5. And this is pretty much, if you want to volunteer, come in. You know, if you know someone that's affected by that was formerly incarcerated, have them come drop in. Okay, we're trying to make a difference. We're trying to make a change. Even with these young kids, you know, shooting and doing all that type of stuff, you can still drop in. We are trying to make sure that people understand that we address a lot of different things inside this particular drop-in center. All right. Even though you might think that you're just going to apply for this particular job or get a place to stay, we can also help, and we can also talk to certain people. I had someone call the other day, and they wanted their son to be talked to by one of our community mentors, you know. So hey, I know I'm gonna do a follow through, but we just want everybody to be feeling comfortable. It's a safe place. We are not is it religion based?
No, we're not religion based.
No, we're not religion based, right?
No.
First Followers
Open to
isn't.
all.
So yeah.
Religion or no religion. And I mean, I also just want to say that our idea of the program is that you know, the power of the program is that it's based on peer mentoring. That is, the people that drive the program are people that have been through the system, you know, formerly incarcerated people with felony convictions and so forth, because we believe that people who have been through that experience are the best ones to help other people go through that transition. And we have a lot of problems. I think most of us have been in situations where we've had to deal with social workers that really don't understand any of the issues that you're trying to any problems that you face, and it can get real frustrating, and so we really kind of reject that model of having somebody who's, I don't know, coming right out of the University of Illinois school social work or something, and all of a sudden, you know, they're sitting there with somebody that just did 20 years in prison, and there's just no way for them to communicate, because they got nothing in common. And so we believe that, you know, we make those connections.
Right. I got one for you. Talk a little bit more. Can you talk a little bit more about the system? How the system is set up here? We got a lot of brothers. Like, we got a brother here now, Russell. Russell, where you from?
I'm Zimbabwe.
Straight out of Zimbabwe.
We're gonna get Russell next.
But
he ain't gonna get left out.
But I've talked to some other brothers out of Africa and other places, and they always, you know, they got a misconception about the Black Americans here. And one of the misconceptions is that I think, just like it was one brother, he was talking about the Quan Donald thing where they shot him 15 times. And I explained to him what they was doing, the police was doing to him at the time. They were doing a pick up and drop them off in another neighborhood. You know, they used to do that to us in Chicago. And he was like, that don't really go on here. I said, yeah, it do, man. You know, it do. And I think, can you talk a little bit about that, the system from the school to prison pipeline, and how we can't actually see it, but it's there? Can you kind of elaborate a little bit more on that one?
Sure. I mean, I think one of the things that we've seen over the course of the last sort of 3 or 4 decades is that schools have adopted the kind of approach of prisons, right? I mean, even if you look at the school buildings that are built now, they don't look, they're not friendly.
Right,
right. They capture, they're there to hold people, and you got metal detectors, and then you got these student resource officers, and you got people being you got sometimes we see kids like 6, 7 years old getting into an argument in the classroom, and the next thing you know, they got handcuffs on them, and they're being dragged out and taken to court or taken down to the police station and so forth. So they're being primed from a young age to have this become normalized, that this is who you are, this is where you're going.
They're being labeled. They already being put in that box.
And we're teaching you right now. This you're not going over there in that. You're not going to college over there. You're coming this way. You're coming this way. So I mean, so you talk to I talked to an 18-year-old young man in Chicago, for example. He's been on an electronic monitor seven times already, you know. And I said, "What's going on with that?" He says, "Oh, they're setting me up to take me to prison. They want me to get used to it." So he knows what's happening. But what goes along with that is the fact that in these communities in Chicago, which you know better than I do, Tyler, because you're from there, that the factories and the opportunities for work have been taken out of there.
Right.
So then what's substituted for economic activity is police activity, right? So all of a sudden you have the police, intensively patrolling, and it's and looking for people, right? And I always when I sit here in Champaign Urbana, I always use the example that, I mean, we got two worlds here. We got the way that the university gets policed,
right?
And we know most of these university students, they got all kind of drugs, right?
Oh yeah,
they got a lot more drugs.
That's where you find the good stuff at, man.
That's right.
You go in the hood to get the junk, but you go over there and that's the good stuff.
They got
go
the
ahead,
good.
man.
No, it's true, but so like here we got 45,000 students here, and we got 24,000 black people in the county, right?
Yeah.
But so what? And I know those 45,000 students, because they got money. They got, like you said, they got the money to buy the good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Right. But we don't. I want them to take a sniffer dog down the hallway of one of these dormitories. If they do that, things are going to change. Things are going to change. But the thing is, they're not going to do that because the city relies on the money from that university.
Right.
And if parents from Chicago are sending their kids down here to the University of Illinois and they're getting busted, they're sending them somewhere else, right?
Yep.
So, but in the meantime, that's why we have 70% of the jail population is black people in this county, even though it's such a small sliver of the general population.
Like 13% of the population, 70% of the rest. And that reflects all across the community, and what you're saying is real, because I just left Los Angeles and I passed by a school and I thought it was a jail. They had the gates around there looking like they had they didn't have a barbed wire fence on the top, but they might as well put that on there. I've never seen a school with this type of gate around it before, even in Chicago. I don't know, Russell. What's your opinion on that, man? Like, give us your opinion on that. I'm gonna bring you in on this. I gotta bring you in. You from the outside looking in, man. Give us your view on this. There's no wrong view.
First, tell everyone who you are and where you from.
Yeah, tell them again.
Okay, hi guys. I'm from Zimbabwe, which is a Southern African country. So I'm here in the States. I have a couple of presentations I'm doing. I'm from the University of Zimbabwe, so yeah, I'm a colleague to James and his wife, Teres, and so I have I'm here for, I think I'll be in Atlanta for a presentation that I'm also doing the Association for Southern African Studies.
I was just down there, man.
Yeah. So I'm learning. I'm learning.
Yes.
It's my first time in the States, and listening to James talk, and you all guys, your perspectives on incarceration and the black folks and what's happening. So it's a difficult.
Well, take your time with it. I'm gonna tell you too. I'm gonna give you some tips on the line of where not to go. But go ahead, man. I'll give you some safe spots where not to go, man. But go ahead.
Oh my.
Yeah. Okay. So you. Yeah, I think that there's what James was just saying about the police and perhaps because most of these things we see on TV,
Right.
and there's this reflection of some sort of which perhaps I don't know if the word stigma is the right word to use about the black community. I hope I'm not touching on any.
No, you're not. But you mentioned community. You mentioned black community, and I think that the black community here is pretty much destroyed.
Okay.
It's not like when I grew up. I don't see it. Now, from Africa to here, that's really big because I grew up in a community, where you could get your butt whooped by anybody up and down. But that's not here now. That disconnection is part of it. I mean, do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
You agree?
Yeah.
It's missing now, ain't it? So, I mean, touch up on that, man. That's big right there. I think because you come from a community, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do we get back there? We lost our way, man. Something happened. That's how I feel.
Yes, man.
Go ahead. We still listening to you.
I'm just saying, man. I don't want to, I ain't gonna get too deep, but I don't know. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about it. I feel like we lost our way because I don't see a community. I see a neighborhood, which is different from a community. A community works together. A community has businesses and things like that. I don't see that here. I mean, am I wrong, James?
Oh no, it's totally changed. Yeah.
Right. And when I got with First Followers, that's what I was looking to help build is a community again, and use this as a model. Where we could kind of make this thing rebuild it from other places. But that's just me, man. But go ahead. I'm gonna let you go ahead and elaborate more. You go ahead. Go ahead and give your opinion on it.
Well, I don't have much to say, but I think the whole community thing that you've just touched on. I think First Followers is doing a good job. I think
so too.
Yeah. And from the leader that I've had, especially about the community centers and the one-stop shop kind of scenario, perhaps could bring back the whole community, and instead of the neighborhood aspect that you're talking about.
So
Go ahead. Yeah.
So Russell, we were talking last night about extended family and things. We were talking. So I'm wondering if you could just talk. Maybe that's part of community. In the sense that we were talking about how in where we live, there's like next door there's a 96 and a 98-year-old husband and wife who are in deep dementia, and their children are trying to look after them, but that. Here it's like there's no real support or services or even community to help out with that. These people are just kind of on their own. Whereas like in some countries that you have a state medical health care system which would provide caretakers, but you were also saying that places like in Zimbabwe there would be a network when people get old. There's a network like a family network that would probably kick in that would care for people. It wouldn't just be put out somewhere.
Okay, so well, in Zimbabwe and perhaps some of the other South African countries, we have a very strong sense of, if you want, familyhood. If you want, so for example, I mean, and if I may use the example that you've just given, you don't find, for example, myself taking my own parents or my grandparents to a home of some sort. They would be, either staying with me, or if I can't stay with them, if I can't afford, they're either staying with my own uncle, which is my father's brother, or my uncles or aunts from my mother's side. So there's it's everyone belongs to someone.
Yeah.
If I may put it that way, yeah. So and everyone is in charge of somehow.
Right.
So my kids, they are not my kids as such. They are my uncle's kids as well. So and that also cascades down to perhaps communities. My neighbor, I can for example, if I may use an example where you say, I can reprimand my neighbor's child, and that child's parent will accept it, and they're happy because they know that my neighbor from that end, from the other end, from the south, from the east, from the north, basically like parents to their child. So that's the sort of community-based interaction relationships that we have. So it's yes, at family level, we have extended families where in one household you can have up to 20 people from uncles, aunts, and you name it. And also at like I'm saying, if I may use the neighborhood scenario, where again people staying in that area, the other corner, the north south that I'm talking about, you have people from those areas, again being one that community that we're talking about. So yeah, that's my take on it. But of course, there are shortcomings. I mean, I wouldn't want to glorify it as such, but that's the kind of
Okay.
Yeah, because when I was working at Guardian West, the Congo community is just like that here. They very strong. Like, you really can't tell who brother. They all call each other brother or sister. That's my brother, that's my sister. And they very strong and tight knit with each other. And like, if you have a problem, I know if they have a problem with one another, they all come together. Or say if I have a problem, when they come like, what's wrong? What my brother say to you? They takes up or try to defuse the situation, even though they're not. I used to thought they always related. So yeah, that's the sense of thing.
You was discriminating. You thought they all related because they all black.
Look at you.
I'm just messing with you.
That's my brother. That's my sister.
Yeah.
So you be talking to one of them, and I was like, dang, okay, it's a whole family. I would no, but it's a community. They do everything together. Like they invite me to a company. I always get calls now to community parties and stuff like that.
Cool. That's cool.
They consider me. They always say I'm their brother. They say, Tony, our brother.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They always say they always say you're a different American. You know what I'm saying? They always say that type of stuff. So it is like a tight knit community. But that's what we need to do here, though. Like I was saying, we need to go around and knock on doors and try to have community meetings and community gathering to get the community involved. Because like I said, everybody gonna want to get involved. But the ones that you do get involved, that will start something, and sooner or later people will fall in line. But it's a start from everywhere. Yeah.
Well, let's see. What role can first followers play in that? Let's ask James as community organizer. What do you think, James?
Well, I just wanted to repeat one of the things that Russell said.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Everyone belongs to someone.
Yep.
That's like rich. That's like we gotta put that on our wall, because it's like that's what we want, right? We get people coming through the door that've been gone. They've been gone to the prison for 20 years. They don't belong to anybody.
Yeah.
They're coming out there feeling so alone. And even if they land with family, they might not have been connected to those people for years and years and years. And so that whole trying to how do we achieve that sense of belonging?
Yes.
I don't have all the answers to that, but I think by building an organization of people who have been affected by this, that we then have a power and a legitimacy to talk about these issues, and also to put pressure on the city and the county to hand over resources like Heather was talking about before, all the resources that go into the wrong places. If you look at that county budget, something like 32 million going to the 37 million going to the sheriff's office. Come on now. Let's and that part of the budget, every year the county board comes up to discuss, that part of the budget is not up for discussion.
Did you say 37 million?
37 million. I think that's what it is. I gotta go. I mean, so it's just like, we're trying to get 50,000, 100,000 for a reentry program, and it's just like nothing.
Come on.
So we have to build the power to pressure to get some of those resources. Yes. But the thing is that I mean, you build community, by struggling and fighting for these, by not only fighting for them, but then also getting your programs to work. I think we build what we have in First Followers. We build that on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons a lot. Just being there, talking to each other. We gradually develop we begin to connect with each other. We have relationships with each other, and then we also come up with ideas, and then we find ways to make those ideas happen.
Right.
So it's that, but most people don't have a place to go like that.
No.
You know, they really don't. A place that's it's a safe space, and you can say anything you want there.
Yeah.
And you know it's not going to go anywhere, and nobody's going to turn around and hit you over the head with it.
Right.
You know.
Right.
2 weeks later or
So
something.
I have the mic, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, Heather kind of violent sometimes. But go ahead. That's I'm not gonna put that out there.
Tag team back again.
So that's a start, though. But I mean, I think you all got ideas around this too. You know, I think we're fortunate that we have a lot of people who grew up in this community.
Yeah.
Who got those connections.
Yeah.
I mean, some of us are from outside. We don't have the same connections to here. But I mean, I think also that that combination is good. We can reach a lot of different people.
Yes. Outreach.
And then, you
Can you unlock your phone?
I say I think that what we do got in common is most of us do come from a community. I'm not originally from here. I'm originally from Chicago South Side. But
Thank you.
I did come from one of those areas that's very community oriented. You know, Kiki, I could tell he comes from an area like that. You know, so I think that's what we all got in common. So that make a lot of sense. But you know, you just touched up on something. 37 million, and we can't even get 50,000. So how much is it to incarcerate somebody annually again? How much is that?
33,000.
No.
With 33,000.
Yeah, it's probably a little more than that, closer to 40. But
Is it?
it depends on who it is, because you got older people, you got people with medical needs and so forth. They might cost 60, 70, 100,000.
Right.
So and those people that are there, they're keeping there doing these 20, 30, 40-year sentences. They get old. They become much more expensive to keep there. That's the thing that we always talk about, this issue of the fact that when people's sentence is done and they don't have a place to live, that they keep them in the prison for another year and a half. Well, that's another $50,000-$60,000 they're spending on that person. If they put $10,000 in that person's pocket when they walked out through the gate, they're not going to see him again. Because if you give them $10,000, and you're going to go get yourself an apartment, you're going to get yourself a car, you're going to do some things. You might need a little help trying to make that plan, so you don't go out to Dottie's and gamble it away or something.
Right.
It's like, but give people a support to, but instead they'd rather spend $60,000 locking the person up. But that's the thinking.
That's insane thinking. What was you saying?
It's insane. That's but that's what we've been dealing with for 30, 40 years.
Wow.
The flipping, like you've been saying, flipping that script, so all of a sudden we legitimate spending money on prisons and locking people up.
It's a psychological warfare.
Mm-hmm.
It's like anything. Like I was watching a movie the other day called The River Run Red. It was a judge's son, based on a true story out of St. Louis. A judge's son got killed by the police, and he ended up killing the guy that killed his son. It's a psychological warfare, man, because no matter how you look or how you drive, they can target you and put blame on you for your own murder. Now this kid, they have a record of they end up setting the kid up and put a gun on him, and actually the kid was going to be a police officer. He was 23 years old, something like that. He got inducted to the police academy. He's on the way to the police academy. He waved at the police, and the police, he was racist already. He said, "They got just flicked me off." He took a wave to a flick off, pulled the kid over. The kid, when he got his water, they shot and killed him. You know what I'm saying? So it's a psychological warfare that they can put in their heads, and it goes on for generation to generation. It's like their warfare getting stronger and stronger, and our warfare is just getting where they wanted to be, because they started years ago telling you what you couldn't be and can't do. You know what I mean? Like I say, I always say this. When I was in school, they told me we weren't going to live past 25.
That's what I heard.
You know what I mean? That was the thing. Or you can't do this, you can't do that. You can't go this place. Because you got to realize a lot of places in the South and up here, it still got racist laws in effect. Jim Crow still in effect. They just don't use it.
It's a lot of sundown
then
towns.
Then you got a lot of,
Georgia,
like, take instance, I watch golf. golf, they just in 97 just started allowing us, Asiatic men, to go in certain golf places in South Carolina to get membership. In 2014, they just now allowed so-called African American women in Augusta. Now Augusta is a worldwide place everybody know about.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying, now they just start allowing them in there, and they just now start allowing us in there in 2010, somewhere around there. So it's like we're not educated when it comes to certain laws of America. You got to educate yourself on these laws, these constitutional laws that these people set in play for us. We don't do that. We like when Marlon was on the show last time, we was talking about how they were so quick to integrate to these schools. We lost our cultural identity. Because now you listen to certain, if a person telling you something or treating you a certain way, like you said, they put handcuffs on a 6-year-old child. Look at the psychological damage they're doing to that child. See what I'm saying? They letting that child know right there, you ain't worth nothing. You are an Asiatic young man, your skin color let you know you ain't worth nothing. So we are not equipped to deal with that because a lot of us is, like you said, not together. They won't listen to you because the first thing they do, the government gonna bring you down. Oh, James Kilgore, oh, he involved with this, he involved with that. Oh, Marlon Mitchell, he involved with that. Anthony Mike, he just got out of prison. Tiger James, oh, they bring you down. That's why they give you criminal records. Now you got the average person living in America look like, I can't listen because he might want to rob me. He might, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's a psychological warfare. So what step do you think us, that's not just Asiatic and Caucasian, but as a community, to bridge that gap to that? You know what I mean? To kill the colorblind, the colors and all that. What step do you think people could take to try to build forward to get rid of all that stuff?
Well, I don't think there's any easy solution.
I know
to
that. I know that ain't nothing easy.
But I mean, I think what we're doing is what we're doing. I mean, we're trying to build an organization that has a different approach to things.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think there's two things. When you've got an organization that's fighting for social justice, that's trying to change things, but you're also trying to build an organization where people treat each other different.
Right.
So, so that's, you set that model for people as well. It's not just the fact that you're fighting for change, but you're also changing the way you relate to each other, and that's how I hope we can set an example that's different from other organizations. I mean, in this community, I think we're different from. There's other social justice organizations that fight for change, but I don't think they have. They don't have the same kind of dynamics. Yeah. They're also not driven and led by people who have been directly impacted by this. It's maybe people from the university, maybe some academics and so forth. But we have a different cross section of the population. Oh, yeah. So, but it's about building, bigger and more powerful organizations and exposing the level of inequality. And I think it's, we're seeing some things happening. If we look just even at the last elections, I mean,
that was powerful.
We got people got the vote back in Florida. People with felony convictions got the vote back in Florida. But if we look also at the local elections, it's kind of interesting that there was some big changes here that weren't predicted. This is a Republican county,
right?
And everybody believed that the Republicans were going to win. Nobody believed that Aaron Ammons would become the first African American clerk
80 years
in the county, and he won that race. He won that race, yeah. And just to show that there's that people are not happy with the situation. Yep. They elected the Democrat candidate for sheriff against the Republican deputy sheriff who's been trying to build this jail for years and years and years. This guy's he's only spent a year on the police force. He's been teaching at the university. He's gay on top of that. So it's like he does not fit the stereotype of law and order. So people are looking for change. They're looking for something different.
Talk in the mic.
They're looking for something different. And so I think that's happening. Obviously we still, like I said, we still got 45, but we got a lot of stuff happening where people, people like Stacey Abrams, people like Andrew Gillum. I mean, they're not only running for office, but they're also building movements up on the ground. I think we had that sense in Florida when we went out. We went out and knocked on doors. It wasn't like that was all they were going to be doing. That they were going to just get that vote and then sit back. I mean, I get the sense that that's the start. We're going to
Yeah.
deal with it.
Oh, yeah.
It's mass incarceration that's made us lose our vote. Now we got our vote. We're going to use that as a tool to
Yep.
mobilize and make
Yeah.
change. And so,
And I seen the numbers. It was just like, wow, I was a part of that. You know, it was pretty good, pretty cool.
You didn't go out walking. Where you walking at?
I did. Hush.
What group you was in?
I was in
No,
a
what
group
group you was in?
with 2 females and a guy. All right.
You got pictures?
One of the
You got
yes, I do
verification
have a
of that?
picture. Yes, I do. I
know-
did.
I know we
I
was
wanna
out
see these
walking.
pictures.
We went
Yeah.
in the
What kind of
hood.
pictures are they?
We went in the hood, and I, was like, "Whoa, hold up!"
What
It
section
was
y'all
a
was
trap
in?
house back there
What
in the
section
cut,
y'all was in?
and I was like, "Whoa, look at all these geckos and
Man,
lizards
Hey,
running around me."
They put us
So
in
yes,
the heart
I was
together,
out
too.
there.
they
Okay,
put us in the heart of the ghetto.
yeah, we was
Man,
out there.
They put us, man. They had us in some places, man. I was scared to go to. I knocked on the doors though. They was Tamika and Bebe was like, "You gonna go on that, man? Might as well. What's gonna happen? It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen." But yeah,
Yes.
that was a great moment though.
Yeah,
being part
it
of,
was.
man. It made me feel good. They got
Yep.
that vote to knowing we was part of that.
They restored a lot of votes. I don't know the actual numbers, but they restored a lot of votes in Florida. And unfortunately, they had, did they have a miscount or something in Florida for the governor?
The government, they still doing that. That's over now.
now that's over with.
It's
Yeah.
over with.
They 1.5 million people got their vote back. But
Okay.
I think the issue is that if those 1.5 million people would have had their vote, that election wouldn't even be close. You know, and this is the history that's been going on.
Who won
there.
the Republican that won that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just by like 30,000 votes. But we got 1.5 million people with felony convictions that weren't voting. And we know most of those people were going to vote for Gillum. They weren't going to vote for this horrible DeSantis
Yeah,
Trump lover, you know.
pretty much.
Sorry, I said that nasty word on the air.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to remind you guys this is WRFU. It's an open forum, okay? This is Urbana-Champaign, and it's for the online community. Views expressed are those of the speakers and are not intended to represent WRFU, UC, IMC, or Urbana Socialist Forum. So you're covered, James.
I want to say something. A little bit community building right now. We got dance music therapy down here at the IMC Center tonight. We talking about building community. These type of events we need to be at. We also got an art show going on down here.
And it's free.
It's free. They got food, man. They're gonna have.
Oh, I'm there.
Man, the
Oh,
DJ.
my
They
God.
got an awesome DJ. He's also a teacher.
They do that in the
He
summertime.
teach
though.
psychology.
Psychology?
Yeah,
At the
he-
U of I?
Yeah, man, the guy is
Mm-hmm.
awesome, man. He do house music, so if you a house head, this is how you build up a community. You throw these type of events, you party together, you eat together. Am I
And
right,
you
my
come
brother?
out. You
Russell?
come out and support.
Yeah, right? That's right.
Come out
So
and support.
come out. You could come out. You could do your I don't know what's that dance Heather that your kids do all the time. Now that do dance.
I don't
When they
gotta
look like they be
dance.
kicking-
I just make money moves.
Oh,
All right, sorry.
I'm gonna leave it alone, man. I'm done.
Another
done.
Cardi B for you.
We gotta give James some more questions before he leave. You know he leaving at 7.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Oh, you hang out. Okay,
Phil
okay.
finished the story.
Yeah, I know. So back to
Was it some
No.
more questions or something?
no,
we
we're
had
gonna
to-
talk some more about. Okay,
Okay.
back to the reentry program.
Okay.
You say once we get this house, what's the main goal for the house, and who will you be letting in the house? Will you have restrictions on letting certain people in the house, or you open for all community?
You know about the transition
Yeah,
house.
transition house.
Well, we have to work that out. Unfortunately, with the feds will not let people in that have sex offense convictions. So we're not going to be able to do that in the first round, but we'll probably.
And math.
But we're gonna push on that.
Some with the math too. Remember math.
Yeah, there's if people got a meth conviction, but this is not under Section 8, so that piece won't apply. We have to sit and put, we have to put together a committee. We have a committee, but we have to put together a committee to figure out who's going to come in, and we're also trying to connect up with IDOC to see if we can build a way to connect with people even before they come home.
Okay.
So we have some kind of a relationship, and we also kind of know who we're getting. We don't really want the IDOC to just drop people at the front door that we've never seen before, and we got no idea what they're
we got
like.
Right.
Yeah, so
right.
we got to try to work all that out. And I think we're lucky in the sense that we got at least a couple people in our program who who have both been in houses and have worked in these houses, so they got ideas about how we do that. But I mean, we'll also welcome your ideas, Kiki, about how do you think we got to go about doing that, because that's a discussion we got to have when we get that
Don't
house.
run like they ran to Paris.
Bad, huh?
We ain't bad, but
Yeah.
Oh, the halfway house.
yeah, the halfway house, that was terrible. It was alright. It's better than prison, but it was bad.
Mm.
The way they treat you and feed you, then they take all your money.
Oh, they always take the money.
We're not going to do all that. I mean, we're trying to build this house up into something that's going to reflect the spirit of First Followers, right?
Yeah.
So we want our mentors to be going in there. We want our mentors to be working with the people that are there. We want to be doing programs in the house that people are going to help people connect to what's happening in the community and what we're trying to do. So that it's not going to be a situation. We're not providing a bed.
Right.
We're providing an environment, a supportive environment. And then the other thing is that the housing authority has agreed that people that get when they finish there, they'll get Section 8 vouchers. So they'll be able to go out at least and get some housing.
Wonderful.
And using those vouchers. Whereas otherwise they're going to be thrown out into the housing market without any money, probably.
Right.
But this gives them
That's
capacity.
wonderful.
And we can probably build some connections to landlords that will, they'll be willing to
No
provide
slumlords.
housing.
No slumlords, landlords.
And
Yeah.
even with the transition idea and program alone, I have a question. Why is it so hard and difficult for formerly incarcerated individuals to get a job around here in town? Why is it so hard for us in Champaign-Urbana to actually accept people like this? Why is it so difficult? They want us to get people the jobs, but then they don't want to support us. And can you give me a little something?
I think Russell said the word. It's stigma, and it's racism. I mean, it's those two things, and those two things go together. So we've been battling, and that's a part of our big battle when we go before the city councils and the county boards. I mean, we're trying to educate people, trying to get them to change their mind, to get rid of this stereotype that all these people coming home from prison are mass murderers, that none of them, that you can't change, that you are your worst act, that that what you did when you're 18 is the same thing that you're going to be doing when you're 38. All that stuff, and we know that particularly the image of young black men has been put up as synonymous with violence, and we're so that's why we're trying to do our our Go Mad course with 18 to 24-year-olds to be able to put out a group of people that have come through our program who are that stereotype, who have a different, who can advocate for themselves and also bring in other people from that age group, so they don't get caught up in the violence, which is a reality in terms of what's happening in the community. But we've probably contacted, I would say, either through email, phone calls, personal visits, we've probably contacted about 100 employers in Champaign-Urbana, and we basically asked them, can we come and meet with you? Are you willing to hire people? And we've only found about 2 or 3 employers that were willing to meet with us and talk. Now, some employers will hire people, but they don't want to set a policy. They don't want to talk about the issue. So we can send them people and they'll hire them, but they won't say, send us people, we're open, blah blah. They don't want to build a relationship. They don't want to take the issue seriously.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Could you talk about the benefits of employee hiring? Like, they do get benefits they can get when they hire them, right? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, they can get a tax break, and they can get bonded. So one of the big fears you have is somebody, if you employ somebody coming home from prison, they're gonna steal you blind, or take your car, or do something. And so you can get bonded for like at least 6 months against that kind of thing happening. So it's a little bit of protection. But I mean, we're not trying to send them people that are going to be robbing them blind. I mean, we're trying to vet people
Yeah.
And I mean, the fact of the matter is that not many people with that mentality actually come through our doors, because we've seen a few, but when they come, they feel that no, I'm not fitting in here, because they basically think, well, I can come in here and I can hustle for $1 for something, what, but then they can see, well, actually we're not about that, you know,
right?
We're about something different.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, and then you should understand, it's somebody trying to get a job. They ain't trying to do nothing wrong anyway, man.
Right.
Because people that want to do something wrong don't come out looking for no job. Seriously, because that's the first step of trying to get help. Mm-hmm. But like you said, everything designed to keep them from getting help, go back to their old ways. And that's the racism part.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, what kind of jobs do you get people? So, you know, if we get somebody a job at Taco Bell, and, you know, that's what we realize after a while doing this. Okay, we'll get you a job at Taco Bell, or we get you a job at Sonic. Oh, you're good, right? Well, you're not good, because what happened there, you're going to get paid minimum wage, you're going to work 20 hours a week, and then when business is slow, you're going to come in for a 6-hour shift, and they're going to tell you to go home after 2 hours, and you lost all that money. So you're getting nothing. So basically, you're back at the same point. You don't have enough to pay rent, you don't have enough to survive, so you got to find a way to supplement that income, and that's going to throw you back. So we've now looking to get better jobs to feed people into, you know, places where they can go somewhere, like, you know, like what happened, like Kiki, you went through the highway construction, you kind of help you kind of build your thing, and then you found a pathway to a better
that's what. But see, when people people gotta set realistic goals anyway, man. You should want any job when you first come home, because getting a job is putting get the idle mind to working somewhere positive. So, you know, it's good to get a job at Taco Bell or Sonic. Don't make that your career job. You want a job when you come out. You want to keep moving. Then while you get that job, you want to look for another job, because you got to have some type of work history to get a job. Because I noticed once you get a job, you can get another job easier once you work.
People don't think about that.
No matter what kind of job you got, because when I first came home, I told you I just need some work history. And every time I got a job, when I got another job, I put that job I was on there, I got hired right away. It's like that. So people got to get that understanding. Once you got a job and go look for another job, it's easier to get a job. So that's why I tell people that come in the door, when I talk to them half the time, they got to get a job, man. You got to set realistic goals. You ain't gonna figure. You're not gonna get out and make find no 20 hours. You're not even gonna find no 15-hour job when you first come home from prison, unless you know somebody. And if you know somebody, got a family member doing this and that. Yeah, but you got to have a work history and just get that first job. Then you got that first job and put in an application to a second job, and the job will get better. So that's another thing people don't understand. But I feel that a lot of people that don't come to us, or they come to see how it is, because we don't work for them. We make them work for themselves. And a lot of people ain't got that in them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people got that attitude that you owe me something attitude. So they want you to work for them to get them somewhere. I ain't gonna name no names that part of the group, but you know what I'm talking about. But they did a good job doing it though, because I ain't saying on the reunion. But you know what I'm saying? But he did a good job, but now he on his own doing a hell of a job now. But you got people like that you got to vet. Like I tell y'all, the men when we doing, I was like, man, he ain't gonna do nothing. You know, I tell you, I said, man, he ain't gonna do nothing, man. That's me. I know me. I know me. You know what I mean? So that's the obstacle a lot of people face, man. Coming home for real.
Well, I mean, a flip side of that, I think, is that, and I think we've learned that, you know, people come in and they say, what kind of job you want? And every single one of them, almost without exception, say, I'll do anything. And then you start saying, will you do this? Will you do that? No. So they won't do any. They want to make it look like they're going to do anything. So what you got to do? Okay, you got to give them something that they'll accept. But keeping in mind what Kiki's saying, you got to be realistic. You're not going to be made the the CEO of the company when you're coming home from prison. You know?
Right.
But the other thing is to get people to think, okay, where am I going? What's my goal? So, like, for example, Kiki, I mean, you wanted to get a job at the university, right? So I mean, you had a whole string of jobs, but the whole time you had that string of jobs, you were fighting to get on at the university.
Mm-hmm.
You kept that in your head. You know, you kept that goal in mind while you did these other things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people, that's what I think people have a hard time doing. You know, they okay, I'm doing this dead end job. I'm getting 20 hours a week, and they just, you know, they're not doing what you're saying is that 20-hour week job is the first step on the ladder, you know.
Yeah.
But you got to keep going up the ladder, and you got to keep your mind focused on what's my next step and what's at the top of the ladder.
Yeah.
And that's some of the thinking that we try to instill in people when they come in, because I don't think when people go to the normal social services agency, they're getting that kind of getting that kind of
support. These places,
right.
Man.
They just give you, they
throw
you a piece of paper. They throw you a piece of paper. And say,
nice
go apply here.
You go to Express and man, you get that job, and shoot, by the time you get that check, what it look like?
Like look at the halfway house. I was in the halfway house. I was in the halfway house. Man, they don't use, you can't use, they don't help you get no job, first of all. They're not going to refer you. They got a list that's from 1997 on the wall.
That's right.
First of all, they tell you, look at this list, go find a job off this list. These hiring felony. Second of all, you can't use it for no reference.
Dang.
What?
No, you can't use it for no reference. They're not helping you get no job. You can't use no reference. Third, you get the job now, it's all about their 25%. Off the 20. Yeah, look at Russell. Oh yeah, you know that, Russell? Yeah, the federal government got a policy, right? You do your time in prison. You go to a halfway house. You go to this. They changed it though now. They just changed it. But you finish telling you go to the halfway house, either 6 months to a year. While you're at this halfway house, you get a job. You gotta find a job on your own. You gotta get the job on your own. You gotta get your own birth certificate. You gotta find all your own rides. They might give you a bus pass, but when you get your job, you gotta pay that back. So you basically doing everything on your own. You're in debt already. So they give you this stuff. Now when you find a job, I don't care if it's $8.55 or $7.25 an hour. When you get your first pay, every paycheck you get, they get 25% off your gross pay. They take more than your taxes. Now this before taxes. They get 25% off your gross pay every time you get a check. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about it, they're the biggest pimps in the world, because no matter what you do, they won't send you back to prison as long as you're working. They can't make no money off of you. It's a heck of a game. But yeah, so
people don't understand that.
What you think of that, man?
Yeah.
That's your gross pay. They
People,
I'm like, you get say you get $100 check. Now you get 25% of $100 check. They get $25. Now they ain't took taxes. They taxes ain't out yet.
Dang.
So your taxes, like I got a check one time for like $288. I had to give them like $75, and my tax was only like $40. So right there, I'm $110 short. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, now they got ways to make you, if you ain't. That's why you gotta build your thinking up, like James them say. You gotta be focused. A lot of people don't be focused. If you run across some type of obstacles, because I'm using. I came home, my first job was $8.25 an hour. Now mind you, I came home to mentality though. See, I put myself in a box, because I could have came home to a woman or stay with my family and nothing like that. But I chose not to. I put myself in a box. I'm gonna do this on my own, save my money. I don't want to get dependent on nobody coming home. So mind you, you got somebody coming home, get a job $8.25 an hour. Now you got to get these people 20. Now they ain't got no clothes, no hygiene or nothing.
You still gotta buy that.
Cause they don't give you no hygiene or nothing like that. They give you an old pillow or an old bed sheet. Well, they closed down now, so I don't know how the one in Springfield is. They shut that down. One in Champaign shut down. They got one in Springfield, Peoria, and Southern Illinois. So imagine you coming home, you get them with a bed sheet, a bed that somebody living in, and then they tell you this. Now they rushing you up out of there, because they try to kick me out several times. Now if you leave, you still got to give them 25% of your check.
Yeah.
And plus you got to pay your rent. So they try to kick you out of there. They don't want you to be there, but they want you to go get your own place. They say, well, you need to go get your own place. You got money. Well, you can afford your own place. How can I afford my own place if I got to give y'all 25%? Now I'm living in Champaign. The cheapest place you're going to get a rent is $500. I want to make it $500 every 2 weeks. I ain't making that every 2 weeks. So they want me to get my rent. I got to have a phone, get a phone, because they got to have a phone contact me. So they put all this pressure on you. See what I'm saying? So you got to be equipped for type of pressure like that. A lot of us ain't equipped for. We say we is, but I ain't saying they weak-minded. But if you put a killer in a corner and say he gonna kill him, what are you gonna do? He gonna kill. That's what he know. He gonna go back to his old ways. Like I use example right from the Bible. I can read all great books. I use example from the Bible. When Jesus told his disciples once he died, they go back to their old ways. They swerved down. No, Jesus, we're not gonna go back to the old way. We're gonna continue to put your word on. We're gonna continue to do this. The moment Jesus got buried put on that cross,
they was gone.
What they go back to? They was fishermen again.
They was gone.
You read the Bible, right? You know what I'm talking about. They went back to fishing. So Jesus called them back. He's on the shore. He called them back. So that's in human nature to go back to your own ways when you're back against the wall. So that's why a lot of people do go back to prison. You know what I'm saying? People don't think like that though. Well, even though I ain't trying to get so deep because it's about
It's all right.
No, it's right. But you're talking about a system that's designed to feed itself, right?
It's a monster
off of everybody else.
Yep.
And I mean, I think one of the things that's happening now is you have a lot of talk about getting people out of prison and getting people out of jail. So what's happening is we got all these companies that are coming up, and they're delivering all these so-called services for people, and people are getting having to pay for everything. Yep. So in some places you're paying like $30 a month to be on probation. Yeah. Then you got to do a drug test. You got to pay $15 for a drug test. You got to go do an anger management course. That's $100. You got to go do substance abuse treatment. That's $200. That's all out of your money now. You're paying, and these companies are seeing these as opportunities, and they're even getting the courts to say, okay, instead of putting these people in jail, we're going to save you money. You create a diversion program, and they're going to go into that diversion program, and they're going to pay for it.
Right.
And we're going to make money off of it.
Yeah.
So for them, it's a win-win situation because the state doesn't have to pay for the jail anymore.
Right.
But they're still punishing these people. And they're punishing them by putting them through, in most cases, useless courses. You've worked in these places. You know that the majority of the stuff that's being delivered there, it's garbage.
What you say? It's outdated. It's like 1996. It's outdated.
Right. When I was in prison, I worked in education, and they had anger management courses that they gave people when you get a certificate. So they give you this thing. They give you a 1 page of stuff that's written 20 years ago, and they give you a multiple choice test, and it said, so like the thing will say, well, there are 3 causes for excessive anger, 1, 2, 3, and then the question will be, what are the 3 causes of anger? So you got the thing right here, you answer it, you get it. I was grading it, and I give people a certificate. But somebody's getting paid to design these tests, or even to grade these tests. It's all money.
Yeah.
So it's a different part of the industry than building prisons, but it's still making money off the same system.
They spend the money, but they spend the money so you can dumb yourself down. Cause remember I told you this one time, Jay, when I was in Raybrook, New York Federal Prison, and the law they hadn't got the computers yet. They were still using law library books and stuff, and the books were so old, or people would take the books up, take cases, and we always be like, man, we need these books. We need these books. Y'all know it's mandated law that we get these books. Let's keep these books up to date. Oh, we ain't got no money to pay for them books. But now the basketball rim, they broke the basketball rim 3 times when I was there.
They fixed that.
They put the basketball rim back up each time. Each time the basketball rim got broke. No, it was 2 times line. It was 2 times. He broke one on them. Each time was a dunk.
And how much is that rim? That rim probably costs about $500-600, right?
Probably more than that. Cause fiberglass, it was like they said it was college regulation, all this. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's in the thousands. So for one rim,
they put the rims back up, but they're not gonna put this law book. Give you a new law book. They ain't got the money for the new law book. You know why, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, they can keep you on that basketball court and keep your mind occupied on that basketball. You ain't trying to go home, and you ain't trying to learn to stay out of prison. It's the same thing I was trying to tell this lady I was talking to a couple weeks ago, the school teacher. They like, well, we got these after school activities. What after school activity y'all got? Basketball. I said, what kind of after school? Well, keep them occupied. So why not teach them something to keep them occupied?
Like we do.
Yeah, why not teach them something to use their brain to keep them occupied? So they figure, okay, we give them basketball and keep them occupied with that for 2 hours. Now they go out and do something else. They ain't got no occupation. They ain't learned nothing. Shoot a basketball. So when it's winter time, they can't get to a park. What they gonna do? Or when they get kicked out of school, what they gonna do? So it's all trickled down to a psychological warfare. And once we get programs for these children to actually learn something instead of just reading a book and learning math and all new ways to do math, and getting these people trades,
and tell about
and
the chess.
Yeah, chess program. Like when I was in school, I was on chess team. When I was in school, we played chess. We had chess team. I was on chess team so I started going bad in my junior year. Yeah, so I was on chess team in my junior year. I was on student council, vice president, president, all that. So it all is. But I look back and look now. I read this book by Napoleon Hill. I wouldn't have done. When you sent me that book, I already read it already. And Napoleon Hill said, if you read this book, he talking to the devil, and he laying out this program. We're gonna take the home ec out of school. They don't got home ec in school no more. They don't got wood shops in school no more. And he was teaching all the kids. And if you look out there in the carpentry world and the industry out there, you don't see no young Asiatic brothers out there working. You see all older brothers out there working because that's what they had. They learned that in school. Mm-hmm. Now they don't have that in school no more to learn that. See what I'm saying? So if you get these programs back, you maybe can teach these children something.
So I mean, to your point, when we did this course for the young men, and part of what we were teaching was building.
Can you elaborate on the Go Mad program? Because I want to hear a little bit more about it so people understand what we have within First Followers.
So that was a course that we did, for a 14-week course for 18 to 24-year-olds. Most of them that had some brush with the law, but not too serious, and we were trying to give them some general education, but also some building trades. And we found that most of them, they didn't know how to even hammer a nail. They didn't, because they've taken all this, like to your point, Kiki, they've taken all these trades out of the school. And I can still remember the guy who turned out to be our best student. I remember we gave him we were starting off, okay, we want you to cut this 2x4. And I handed him a saw, and his hand started shaking. And he said, I've never done this before, and he starts doing this, and but like 6 weeks later, he was framing doors and doing all kinds of stuff. But I mean, it's just like opportunity. You got to give people that chance.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I don't know if you've been on these building sites. It's all white people on these building sites. And this town is booming with construction. Every time you turn around, there's another high-rise building. But it's all white people. And most of them, not even from Champaign or Bell. They're from Muhammad. They're from all over the place. We've been fighting on this Bristol place to try to get, to try to get some youth of color onto these, into the jobs there, even as general laborers, and it's an ongoing battle, and,
oh my God.
And they're making millions off these buildings.
And the same thing about it, they got programs. The Highway Construction Career Program is geared toward minorities, but it ain't out there advertised. Because when I used to talk to one of the directors when I was in the program, RJ was like, "Man, I'm trying to get more people here like you. They don't show up. Or they don't want to take a drug test. They ain't got no driving license. Because these are all the stuff you need to get in the construction field. You gotta go to a job because your job ain't gonna be around here. And then the ones that do don't show up. So what we do, when me and Marlon and James, we was telling people about it and getting people to go. You know what I mean? And even Marlon got a substitute program just to go through the steps. But you got programs out here for us. It just we don't look for them. You know what I'm saying? It's a free, and they pay you to go there.
How much they pay?
$2,000 an hour. It's good.
I also know I wanted to make sure that people understand that some people, when you were talking about when you start a job or when you get out, you want to have any type of job. Some people don't understand that if you have volunteer work and you're doing volunteer work and you put that on your resume, they are 10 times more likely gonna hire you, you know, because you're giving your time for free to some organization, and that's almost considered like a job, you know. So they're more than likely to, you know, give a person an actual job because they're volunteering. Some people don't volunteer and don't want to volunteer. They look for the money, they need the money, and they don't want to do any of that. So if you have some type of volunteer, or go out and help somebody out, go out and do something, you know. Most of these youth, I should say, are wasting their time doing pretty much nothing when they can come down to, you know, to the center and help us out. And that's volunteering. Just helping out around the community is basically what we need in order to feel like a community, in order to be a unity again, you know. Because I grew up with my mom, and she was very active in the community. She was going to church here, doing this stuff here. We had block parties. We had different things going on inside Douglas itself. It was more community based rather than watered down now. So a lot of different things are changing in our community, and I am to the point where I'm fed up, you know, with the community alone. I'm sick and tired of most of my generation, the 34, 35, 30 to 35 year olds, doing pretty much nothing and complaining. You're on Facebook all the time complaining, but you're not doing anything. I'm going to make sure that you guys understand that I'm out here, and I'm going to make sure that I'm doing the actual work. You know, you can come help me and join me whenever you get a chance. That's my little rant for a little bit. Crickets are chirping right now,
James.
you know.
Let's send it
But
to James and Russell. Let them
Mr.
hear-
James,
let them hear too, 'cause
we got another question real quick.
Let's send
What is
it back to them. Let them. We got.
I'll finish up when I want to take off. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I just think I just want to thank you all for having us on here and for making Russell getting in the, you know,
That's that Russell. You have to say Russell, right? John,
Big up to you guys.
okay.
Thank you, Russell.
Yeah, and I think these conversations are great. I think we need to talk about how First Followers can promote this radio program, you know, get that audience out there. We got somebody who's now going to help us do the Facebook piece and do the social media piece. So I think we got to. I mean, this thing is being recorded as a podcast. People can access this. You know, there's thousands of people that are listening to podcasts. So we should be marketing ours. So when we come back to the center on Tuesday, let's talk about that, because I think we haven't really been putting it out there, but I mean, I think these are great conversations, and a lot of people could, you know, benefit from hearing these. And you know, if we get it out there, people will come in here and also want to talk and tell their story about what's happening, what they're doing. So
For sure. Can you say real quick, are you guys open for enrollment in the GoMad program? Where can people come and all of that?
yeah, we are. We're getting ready to start a new group, which is probably going to be in early December. People can come down to the center on Tuesday and Thursday. That's Bethel AME 401 East Park Street in Champaign. They can hit us up on the email firstfollowerscu@gmail.com. We don't have an organizational phone, so but they can track us.
Yeah.
Facebook, they can hit us up on Facebook. We got a Facebook page, and now that we got somebody who's actually monitoring that, so if anybody does put us out there, you know, we're First Followers Champaign Urbana. Not for there's two accounts, but we want the First Followers Champaign Urbana, the active account, is where people can find us. So yeah, we really looking for people 18 to 24. I mean, we're not. You know, our priority is people that have had some involvement with the criminal justice system, but it's not only for those people. We want people that, you know, that are looking to maybe finish their education, they're looking for job opportunities, et cetera, that the system is not serving.
Right.
We're not providing opportunity for them, and we're trying to bridge that gap to
we're paying you $10 an hour.
We're paying you $10 an hour to come, so there's no reason not to if you're just sitting around binge watching and Facebooking all day.
Yeah. Great.
Hey,
Thank you so much, James, for coming through. Thank you so much, Russell, for coming through, and I hope and pray that you just keep bundled up while you're here. Yes, thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. What you got to say?
I'm gonna just say thank him again, man. I'd like to thank James and Russell for coming in, and I love working with these guys here. So, and Kiki and Heather. So we just, we work as a team, man. But that's all I want to say.
Oh, yeah, I like to thank James and Russell coming through. Well, me and James always talk, so hey, I like to think good perspective, good show. I like your views because you were straightforward. I already call you the militant one. Yeah, you don't sugarcoat nothing. But yeah, thank you for coming through, James. Thank you, Russell. Be safe. Enjoy your stay. Stay in the States.
All the way from Zimbabwe.
Don't pick up none of these bad ways. And when you get to Atlanta, stay away from the strip clubs.
No, stay away from underground Atlanta, man. It's dangerous down there.
All right, you guys.
Thank you.
They're gonna head out, and I'm gonna just let you guys know that being positive in these days is the best way to go. Just keep your mind clear and refresh your brain. Work on the inside, the inner you. Get some self-awareness going so you know exactly what's going on around you as well as inside of you. I had a family member call me last night, and she was in tears, and she was talking about her situation. And in her situation, it was pretty much like mine's, where I spoke out on Facebook about my trauma, my sexual abuse, my mental abuse, all of the things that I went through within these past 27 years. I have still, to this day, not been able to heal all the way together, but it's an ongoing cycle. So it's like a forever healing. And I know I'm not the only one around town going through these traumas and trials and tribulations, whatever it may be. But I'm the one to stand up and say that, hey, you can do it. Keep going, keep pushing forward. Try to take care of yourself one day at a time. If you need to, just get away from people. Go outside, take a walk. Listen to music. Listen to music that actually doesn't have any lyrics, because sometimes that can be pretty toxic to some people. Limit what you're doing as far as like consuming certain toxins, as far as alcohol, tobacco, certain drugs. Limit even eating certain food like meat and certain things like that. Sometimes people don't understand that once you consume those products, they can be a little bit toxic to your body. So drink more water. I have just motivation for days to like give to people around town. You can do it. I did it. You can do it. We need to come together, embrace each other, support each other. We are family. It doesn't matter what color you are. It just matters what's going on in your mind and in your brain. If you want to make a change, just hit me up. Call me, text me. It doesn't matter. I am available to the community. I am on Facebook. That is Heather Javon. I'm not putting my phone number. Look at my bodyguard. Like, you better not do it. I don't want to hear about it.
These weirdos.
Weirdos. But yes, I'm just letting you guys know that going forward, be more positive. I know we have a lot of violence going on in the community, but there's a lot of things that are still going on that is positive. More positive than negative needs to happen inside of this environment, this Champaign-Urbana, inside the schools. I recently talked to some lady about her 3 daughters. Well, no, it was her daughter's daughter and 2 other people. It was 3 girls. They got expelled from Urbana. I'm gonna try to get them to come in here and talk about this. But these girls are black, African American, and they got expelled. That right there is trauma. It's trauma to the person. Is trauma to the person that actually got expelled, and it's trauma to the people that is supporting her. Let alone she can't go to school anymore. She's going to be sent to an alternative school. But it also affects friends, families. We need to understand that our mentality is pretty toxic. It has been toxic for a long time, but I believe the time is now to change those and make those changes inside ourselves as well as outside ourselves. So I'm going to sign off right now. You were tuned in to WRFU 104.5. You can catch us every Saturday from 6 to 7:30. All right. Check me out at Heather Javon on Facebook. All right. Peace out.
Peace out.
All right. Peace out.
Good show, James. Good show, man. Always.
Jay Heather.
Yeah. Russell, right on. Good show.
Thank you, Heather.
No problem. Yes, no problem, James. Yes.
Hey, Heather, to get that mic thing right there.